We are live. This is the market update. Cardano XRP breakout incoming. Bitcoin to 25K. Ethereum about to do a major takeoff. Major, right? Bitcoin goes to 25. ETH takes off and goes where? Stay tuned. If you need a roadmap in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button. If you're watching it live or you're watching it on a recording, hit that like button, support the channel. All right. And turn on alerts so you know when we're coming live or posting new videos. Let's welcome who's on the stream. Mike Rocks here. Tito N. SEO. Kent. GF. Welcome to the show. Jay the Banker with the notorious love. AZ. Duncan. Robin. Kent. Richard Barry from Georgia. What's up? Croatia is here, undoubtedly up late. Wrong again with the notorious love. Thank you. Bit Freedom. When Bitcoin breaks 25K, I'll be rich. I like that. I like that. All right. Richard likes the new intro. We are continuing to work on that. I got a little help from that from a friend, and we appreciate his help. Right. Baby Whale from Texas. Luis. Rave Song Records. Welcome. Right. Jason, Zach, Donato, Duncan, London. London is here late at night. All right, people, let's jump into news. FTX Japan customers can begin withdrawing fiat and crypto starting on February 21st. You know, I saw this and I thought to myself, you know, as bad as FTX was for the reputation of crypto, there's at least some hope that some people will get their money back. This is actually probably one of the most subtle and interesting pieces of news that I've seen. Okay. Cohen, welcome from Belgium. SFG is here, right? Chris wants me to move to Asia. I might. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. 10 emerging technologies in computer science that will shape the future. Artificial intelligence and machine learning can be used to automate certain processes, such as smart contract execution and asset management. The best way to play artificial intelligence is to invest in technology in general. Part of that technology investment is Web3, which is crypto. Everyone's like, oh my God, I need 100x AI coin. All right, man. Yeah, if you were hodling AI coins from, you know, a year or two ago, you got the big trade. And there may be another big trade. But chasing stuff like that is going to distract you from this, which is that AI makes everything in technology more powerful, right? Who's going to power the metaverse, right? Is that like the Muppet Show where everybody you come up behind you is like, oh, hi, friend, how you doing? And, you know, the little Muppet talks back to you and that's being run by a person? Of course not. It's being run by AI, for God's sakes. By the way, speaking of AI, I wrote love poems and jingles for my girlfriend, and I told it to mimic the voice or thought process of somebody from the Bronx, New York. So you can have friends from the Bronx, Brooklyn, or Jersey using Chat GPT. I've only started using it. Taiwan public servants may soon need to declare crypto holdings. You know what? Everybody in government needs to disclose their holdings. I saw a tweet way back about congressmen selling Norfolk Southern Railroad holdings within a reasonable time frame before these train derailments. Sick and tired of governments making tons of money with inside information, right? And, you know, they want to stop us from doing crypto. Please. These guys are professional gamblers pumping their salaries. Meanwhile, they're trying to prevent us from making a living and, you know, not taking advantage of the future of technology. Speaking of the future of technology, Silicon Valley is getting off their ass, right? YouTube has a new CEO who actually gets NFTs. How about that, right? YouTube may wind up being a really beautiful place to be, and I'm going to tell you why. They cannot lose to TikTok now. They got a Chat GPT public relations disaster. I actually think the AI situation at Google is not as bad as people think, although there's a layoff coming there. Like, they developed something that was sentient, supposedly, and then they had to unplug it. So they may have Skynet over there. And in between figuring out who wins the Skynet race, these guys have got to do crypto. They've got to do NFTs. They're either going to use Matic, which I kind of hope not, but they're going to use something. And Avalanche and NEAR and all these protocols, I swear to God, Silicon Valley is just going to come in and either use them or gobble them up outright. El Salvador is opening a Bitcoin embassy in the United States. This is really interesting. We have talked about it before. Here's what I didn't tell you about it. What happens if crypto embassies become a trend? Like, what happens if these guys start a trend where there's almost a government-sponsored entity for decentralized currencies in other countries? So if El Salvador owns Bitcoin, it makes sense to have an embassy where you have a lot of Bitcoin miners, where maybe people could walk in and start learning about Bitcoin. I mean, after all, that is El Salvador's bag. So I'm just wondering, like you would have brokerage firms like Charles Schwab that have storefronts, branches. It's fascinating that El Salvador is actually opening up. They're calling it an embassy, but really it's a branch for Bitcoin. So there's no bank, obviously, because Bitcoin is, long Bitcoin, short the banks. But really what this is a branch banking system or a branch retail system for Bitcoin. How crazy is that? This thing is successful and generates PR. You may see other people doing this. Like Michael Saylor might have a Bitcoin embassy in some foreign country. Who knows? Facebook and Instagram are testing selling you blue checks for $12 a month. Oh, geez, thank God. Right? I mean, they can collect $12 to stop the scammers. This is an important example. Bull Runner, what's up? Baby Whale, hi. This is important. Whatever Musk is going to do, these guys are going to have to follow. Like, Musk is like the pace car. You ever seen that in Formula One? How they'd have this two-seater Benz whipping around the track, leading the Formula One cars. Musk is out there in the pace car, man. They got to go where he goes. And if he does crypto or he does Twitter Blue or whatever, they're going to have to do it too. And then they're going to have to one-up them by going to crypto, by going to Web3. Like, I mean, how long do you think it's going to take before everybody pours into ETH-based NFTs? Okay. Just a little bit on the cryptocurrency market cap chart. It's funny that Algorand, ICP, and ApeCoin, okay, are worth less than Bitcoin Cash. Near Protocol is at 2.3 billion. Okay, that's almost 1 billion below Ethereum Classic. I'm pointing this out because when you look at some of this stuff on the market cap chart, you have to ask yourself, why is Avalanche worth $2 billion less than Solana? Okay, Solana's going to do the phone, and I've been telling you that since Solana was at $9. Okay, but these Web3 projects are going to catch up, right? And Matic, I'm not a huge fan at these prices, but I'd be just fine if Matic led the way. Do you realize Matic has retraced 50% of its move from the bottom? If Bitcoin did that, Bitcoin would be at 40K. At 40K. So when everybody starts pouring into Web3, like again, I'm looking at Avalance, who's already got a partnership with Amazon, and I can't believe, Filecoin, Cosmos, right? I saw Tezos up today. I'm wondering if Stellar and Tezos can wind up test nets for these central bank digital currencies, and ApeCoin in the metaverse is too cheap. It just is. So that's your news. Let's see who's on the screen here before we start jumping into the charts. Right? We have Brick Dreams is here. Welcome. Hong Kong legalizing crypto in June for everybody, not just qualified investors. So now you got Silicon Valley, Hong Kong, and everybody who owns stablecoins has got to buy crypto. Bypass Barry is here. Welcome. Right? Alex, how you doing? Appreciate Steve J is here. Reverend Flashback from Germany. Okay. Ben B from Tampa. Go Algorand. We're going to have that chart coming up. Don't go anywhere. Okay. I just saw it go by. Somebody wants asylum at the Bitcoin embassy. Absolutely. I request political asylum at the Bitcoin embassy. Please get me off this crazy. Please get me out of this crazy fiat system. Matthias, welcome. Okay, let's go to PowerPoint. Keep the pace. Okay, this is your market update. This is Bitcoin Weekly on DeMark. Currently, Bitcoin has been enjoying a robust uptrend since bottoming in November. No one wanted it below 17K. Now we're at a stage where people are too scared to buy it at 25. 25 is support. According to this DeMark work, the initial stages you count 1 through 9. So currently, this is week 8. I'm anticipating an up week, a breakout through 25K, and then a God candle to something like 28, followed by a sharp correction. So I think there's going to be a blow off in Bitcoin, and then that's going to be ignition for a major rally in alts. And here's why. This is a 13 bottom in Ethereum from late December. This candle from last week is finally the confirmation that this bottom is in. So just because you have a 13 doesn't mean you have a bottom. It has to start to count the other way. It has to start the DeMark quantitative counting. So just take a moment to think about what I'm trying to say to you. I'm trying to say to you that an Ethereum uptrend started last week. Now, if you say that to yourself and then turn around and look at the market cap chart, look at your portfolio, and you think about this idea that Bitcoin could have this one big thrust and then possibly come back down, does that not open the door for Ethereum and altcoins to go vertical? Because right now the show is about Bitcoin. Like all this money that was in stable coins is going into Bitcoin. And there's probably going to be a big thrust to make that happen. But once the thrust is over, that's when these altcoins and Ethereum start catching up. And if it's not Ethereum, it's going to be something else. But again, the creeping bid and the fear of getting long here, I'm just not buying it. I'm not going to let the market in ETH lull me to sleep. Okay. Vito says, I'm very happy to be here. Right. He says, check this out. I'm happy you're here. Found you from Crypto Love. It looks like he's having a hard time with crypto, and the show makes him feel strong. Well, you know what, Vito? Thanks for coming to the show. I got your back. I got everybody's back on this show, right? This is about helping you. This is about having a professional analyst in your cell phone helping guide you through the crypto market, the news, the macro, and even the smallest stuff. Because I'm the director of research at a cool company called emerging asset groups, where we have coins and we're trying to get commodities on the blockchain. So welcome, stay right here. ETH uptrend coming soon. Bitcoin tactical, meaning what? Short-term charts, trying to figure out like where the support and resistance is using hidden pivot analysis. A brief word on hidden pivot analysis. Okay, usually, it's like subjective. You say, all right, here's the takeoff point. It rallied up to here, and then it came down here as a correction, and then the hidden pivot work allows you to project higher, revealing these points like this green line and this red line that can act as inflection points on the way up that may not be visible without drawing the structure. So lo and behold, it looks like there's good support at Bitcoin at 24. So if you don't see Bitcoin go back below 24, or you see Bitcoin dip, even give you a little dip, you can lean on that support at 24 because they already tried to took it through last night, trying to scare you out. 26.3 is the upside target if 24 holds. ETH, the expanding triangle. Noticing 1697 is a key point in ETH. If ETH is above that, I still believe 1924 could be the target. Everyone's telling me there's resistance up here. Yes, it continues to pause. It is pausing the market. Once the market gets brave enough to take this out, nobody is talking about the upside target. And this expanding triangle was something I saw in equities in 2009. And when S&P broke out, when S&P started to move through the top of this triangle, it was up only. It was up only initially, and then the ensuing trend was like, 10% up, 4% back, 10% up, 4% back. And it'll be the same thing for ETH, in my opinion, right? This is the start of a multi-month breakout, particularly in ETH. And you know what? If I'm wrong about that, you know how I'm going to be wrong? It's going to be because Bitcoin turns into a monster and goes to 40K. Now, either way, in crypto, I'd be okay with that. I'm not okay with Bitcoin wrecking everything, but this whole Web3 narrative, we're going through this on the news every day. Everyone's like, oh, last week, everyone's like, oh, God, SEC sells, SEC sues, such and such bad guy. Who cares? What's Silicon Valley doing, and what does this mean for ETH and other big altcoins? Jazz Gill from Australia catching it live, giving you a lot of love on the time zone. We are going to get more consistent on time. XRP. Wouldn't it be great for crypto if XRP was actually doing some sort of a bull flag and actually was able to pop through 40 cents? One thing I discussed with a friend earlier is that, the legal case ending against XRP, I don't think makes XRP moon. I think there's this fantasy that, the government comes out and, they don't win the case and XRP goes right to, $20. I think the fact of the matter is XRP, once the regulatory overhang is removed, institutional buying can come in. Also, the use case for XRP as a fast payment system or even as a form of money, right? Paying for things in XRP. No one talks about that. So if they remove the regulatory risk, this thing has done nothing. This has probably been, I think, the hardest trade in crypto to try to hold. Yes, the people who believe, but man, when you look at the chart, and we'll go into this later, maybe on live TA, it is just dead. And you've been living with that for so long. So I'm wondering if that pain trade is about to end. Now, speaking of pain trades, I got a head and shoulders bottom in Cardano. Let's take a brief moment to talk about what a head and shoulders bottom looks like. Right? So bears push it down. That's the shoulder over here. Then bears try to take it down again. they get the big new low. Bulls try to push it back up, and the bears are like, you know what? I'm sick of you guys. We're going to kill this thing. And bulls are like, no, bro. We're sick of you, and we're going to take this back up. And bears go, oh, shit. And they cover in mass. So all the people who were trying to kill it down here, they start getting out. And bulls start rushing in because they realize that if you break this neckline at 41 cents, bulls have control. People like to draw stuff. I've noticed that, you can wow an audience and say, oh, wow, here's a super sophisticated thing. And, you can like somebody said, people make other people feel stupid. That's not what we do here. I get giving you this in the story. What is the investment thesis and what is the chart telling you? What is the story behind the chart? You start looking at this. I mean, if Cardano breaks out, can XRP be far behind? Now, I know YouTubers cater to this crowd, but I mean, tell me this is not a head and shoulders bottom. And tell me if Cardano breaks out and follows ETH, whether there could be, like a leadership prospect for Cardano and Polkadot. Now, somebody was asking about the accumulation cone in ETH. That was the Jesse Livermore formation. Unfortunately, they blew that up on me, but the good news is it turned into a bullish expanding triangle. Okay. A bullish expanding triangle. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Here is ETH versus Bitcoin. This is a grab your popcorn kind of chart. Okay. Welcome to Marco, JP, KMK. Welcome. ETH versus Bitcoin is approaching the apex of a diamond formation. Actually, they're breaking out of the bottom of it today with the Bitcoin outperformance. I'm like, oh my God. Whichever way this thing breaks out for real, it's going to be epic. Either ETH is just going to dramatically outperform Bitcoin on the way up, or this is this formation that they talk about, the blood diamond, right? Where, ETH just gets wrecked, or not ETH gets wrecked, or Bitcoin just goes up way more than everything else. So this arrow would be for ETH doing well. This arrow would be for ETH doing poorly, or Bitcoin going up massively. Either way, there's going to be a breakout here because you're close to the apex. That's April 23rd. I'm just thinking this has got to be higher. It's got to be Web3. This whole notion that there's going to be stake ETH from staking released, and that's going to somehow, interfere or cap the price of ETH, I think is ridiculous. Okay, let's talk about altcoins, hidden gems, right? There's a new version of hidden gems. Okay. Brick Dreams noting the VeChain pump. Just damn, I love my VeChain. I love my VeChain. That's the box of chocolates underneath the bed. QNT, right? Been watching this closely. 140, 139 is support, and man, it just sits there. This market has rallied in stages. I remember somebody on the stream a couple days ago was going, man, I'm kind of upset. Solana's not going up today, right? And then Solana turns around and goes up. This is what bull markets do. They get, you get in, you see the move, and then you get involved. And people in QNT have actually been waiting since mid-January for something to happen here. And I'm wondering if this thing is above 139 and we're about to launch higher with ETH, whether or not this is also going to launch higher. Okay, Near Protocol, I'm getting more aggressive on this, right? Near Protocol could have 2 or 3 more big up days. This is a daily chart, and this coin has been destroyed. I've done it on my show. I've showed people on other shows. I mean, Near went from $20 to 20 cents as if all this stuff that's going to be these Web3 highways is dead. I mean, if the guy from YouTube wants to do NFTs, that may be run on multiple blockchains, right? I mean, you could have an NFT ignition here. And layer 1 protocols are back where they were when, The liquidity mania started in 2021. In this time, you're going to have real buying and forced buying. Because remember, you got to come out of stable coins. You have to, right? Nobody on the institutional level can own crypto and have somebody walk into their office and go, the SEC just came down on such and such stable coin and it's depegged, you're fired. That's never going to happen. Managers are going to be like, oh my God, we're going to buy Cardano, we're going to buy Bitcoin, we're going to buy a diversified portfolio of the top 50 cryptos. The hidden gems are the big cryptos that have been destroyed. I mean, we were happy when we got near at 9 because it went to 20. Now you're going to tell me at 2.5 it's overbought when the next two resistance points I have are 3 or 385. I think this is going massively higher. Polkadot. Somebody was like, hey, what's up with Polkadot? I did this chart. I was working with Magic Internet Money. Polkadot. The interoperability, the connecting of everything, possibly even security tokens. This could be how Wall Street gets to the blockchain. Downward sloping wedge, right? Taking that basketball, holding it underwater, pushing that down, bears hammering on that. Then they let go of the basketball or the soccer ball, and the ball flies up out of the pool to the surface and beyond. That's what's happening in Polkadot, right? This wedge is them pushing it down, pushing it down. How high can this thing go? Right? I mean, if it's a sine wave, it's like all the way up, all the way down. How about 56 in April of 2024? Who's talking about that? Nobody. A lot of people are like, hey, what does the world look like if Bitcoin goes to 40? Because keep in mind, Matic retraced half of its rally. Matic retraced half of its decline. What happens if that occurs in Bitcoin and ETH? I mean, halfway back in Polkadot, it's probably above 20. It's currently at 7. Solana, again, frustrates everybody, right? The most important part about the Solana chart is the fact that this thing frustrated everybody for 2 weeks and actually went down as Bitcoin was breaking out. And everyone's like, oh, okay, well, I guess they'll give up on Solana. And then Solana breaks a hidden pivot point. 24.25 comes back down and retests it, right? Boom. 28.96 is left. You can lean on the support at 24.25. I still think 38's the objective. I thought that at Christmas. I'm like, this is going to 35. They come out with this phone thing and start airdropping tokens to people in a bull market. People are going to be carrying a second phone. People carried BlackBerries and iPods for like 7 years. People will carry second phones to get airdrops. So this whole Solana's dead thing, and the thing is, if you look at the market cap chart, the higher Solana goes, Avalanche is $2 billion cheaper than Solana. So for every time Solana rallies, I mean, literally can just drag Web3 up with it. Because again, supposedly this was dead at $9. I mean, seriously. The videos that Solana is dead, I mean, it was ridiculous. Wendy O went the other way, and I joined her. She's like, yeah, I'm buying Solana at $9. I'm like, you know what? So am I. So am I. Algorand. Algorand was held down by massive venture capital selling. That's just my opinion, right? That's my opinion. Now, Algorand's kind of loose. And they got big YouTubers behind this. Okay. Now, if Algorand holds 28 cents, this can wind up at 32 cents. Now, you're like, well, that's not very exciting, but think about it. Right? First of all, if Algorand went up, it started at 8 cents and went to 28 cents or 10 cents. So there's a big percentage return. But let me ask you this. Could Algorand go to $1? Conceptually. I mean, why can't it go to $1? Especially if there's any type of catalyst. All these layer ones are going to be racing for a headline. Like Avalanche got Amazon. I still don't think people are respecting what that really means. But all it takes is for one or two announcements for somebody to go, oh my God, we got to take this whole space and reprice it. I mean, we've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous. We've gone from Ethereum maximalists to ETH is boomer coin, and I'm only onboarding into crypto through other layer ones, to all those layer ones going to zero. And now as Silicon Valley and forced buying of Web3 is coming in, no one cares. Don't you love human nature? That's why you watch the show, and that's why you're going to hit the like button. Sandbox, convinced Metaverse is next. Metaverse has to be next. I swear. I mean, when you think about AI, are you really, really, really going to be interacting with human beings, or is that going to be an AI-generated experience? I'm writing love poems to my girlfriend using Chat GPT. I mean, you know, can you imagine what happens when I can like take her out to dinner or take her on a yacht cruise in the metaverse? Forget about it. It's going to be unbelievable. Everyone's like, oh, you know, the metaverse is not going to be any fun, whatever. When everybody gives up on it, when no one will talk about it, that's when we talk about it. That's when I talk about it so I can help you. Got a lot of smart people in the chat. You want to check that out. 79 cents is support in Sandbox. $1.22 is a possible upside price target. Personally, I think this thing could be breaking out today. Okay. Wrong again wants to go to the Star Wars bar. Render. Okay. Render went to $2, top twice. Now it's going to be really interesting to see if there's buyers that show up at $1.62. We'll check the market and see where it is. If buyers show up at $1.62, that thing can make a new high. Okay, Hedera is the same thing. When you use this hidden pivot analysis, you find some of these hot coins are closer to support than they are to resistance. You got to look at your coin and say, this is up here at the high, but has the old ceiling here become the new floor? So don't say to yourself, I can't buy it because it's too high. If you think it's overbought or you think it's topping, right, or it's come to a resistance point, okay, I get that. But don't dismiss it and go to sleep on the market just because it's an uptrend and it may be in consolidation mode. Okay. Just as a reminder, the expanding triangle in Ethereum, this is the same expanding triangle in S&P right after the end of the great financial crisis. So, you know, Legacy had the great financial crisis. Okay. Crypto had FTX. Market goes up. Everyone's still bearish, expanding triangle. And here's where we are right here, I think. This is going to be the ETH breakout. And then after that, it's just going to be this nice, steady, you know, up only, back down, up only, back down, sideways, up, down, up, right? Not vertical, but this is very much crypto spring, just like this was equity spring. But the thing was moving higher. I don't see why this can't continue. And if ETH moves like this, other coins could go vertical. ETH could go vertical. So, you know, don't sit there and think, oh, I missed it, right? The hidden gems are the hidden support points. And Steve is right. Total free does tell the story. There's the Ethereum expanding triangle. And that's the market update. Okay, I'm gonna tear over to total 3 because I was just showing somebody this. Okay. So this is total 3. This is total altcoin market cap without Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think this is pretty simple, right? So this is total 3 weekly. Okay. So this is total altcoin market cap. And this, as you can see, has done nothing. This has been dead since June, right? So this actually went down like this was sell in April and go away. Like I was like, get out of this thing. It actually cracked in April and went down off Celsius in June and never recovered. Ever recovered. And this is going to be driven by all your big cap altcoins, right? Right. Cardano, XRP, right? Ethereum, Doge, Solana, right? Polkadot. Polkadot's worth $1 billion less than Solana. Avalance worth less than $2 billion less than Solana. Look at this. Cosmos, right? NEAR is way down here. VeChain up huge today. Hedera, ApeCoin, the Metaverse, QNT, Algorand, the Graph. I mean, he's Phantom. Phantom's done nothing but go up, and it's only at 41 market cap. Flow, NFTs. How long is it? Even Aave. I mean, people, I saw say something funny about Aave and Uniswap. People pay to use those services. That's pretty funny, right? People pay to use the services. Like, you know, Sandbox is worth less than EOS. What? I swear to God, the story is right here. It's right here. Okay. Somebody also is talking about the divergences in total 3, meaning total 3 market cap made massive new lows, and you got higher lows in price, or I'm sorry, you had new lows in the market cap measure, higher lows in the momentum indicator. And this has not really done much. Normally, these divergences give you a much bigger pop. I think you're going to get a much, much bigger rally because total 3 looks exactly like Polkadot. These altcoins have been pushed out of a car. And everyone's like, ooh, altcoins, dirty word. A year ago, it was like, oh, I'm in Web3. And now everyone's like, oh my God, don't even say that. Cringe. Neither case is correct. Invest in technology. What is the investing narrative and what does the chart say? Okay. Donato encouraging you to hit the like button. I agree. Okay. Hong Kong and Singapore are here. Welcome. Okay. Lord Junta noticing BlackRock scooping up players. All right. Richard Barry reminds me that my camera is inverted. Thank you. And the resolution is terrible. Thought I had that fixed. Thank you for helping me with that. Too much TV today for me. Brick Dream says, Oakley still not realizing the importance of this channel, maybe in the bull market. Yes, the business development department of Notorious Bill undoubtedly needs to send Oakley and 511 a note saying, hey, can you hook us up? Because we're hooking you up. Okay. One day, someday over the rainbow, right? Someday over the rainbow. Joe is looking for KP3R. All right. Let's go to on-demand TA. Let's start with DeMark. Okay. So this is the XRP chart where I'm just showing just the amount of suffering that has gone on in this, right? This is a weekly chart. I mean, the range really has been 30 to 40. That's really been the range. And when they move outside of it, they torture you. And they move higher, they torture you, and then it collapses. You know, I think this is going to wake up one day and institutions are going to like it. Let's go to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's try short-term charts. Okay. So on a 4-hour Bitcoin chart, the dip you're getting now may be the dip if you're a trader. I'm sorry, this is ETH. So if they're giving you a dip on a DeMark 3 or a DeMark 4, just so you know, Tom DeMark was a quant technical analyst. You know, he counts conditions like the high is higher than the high 2 days ago. And if that's true, then the candle gets assigned a number. It's Quant TA, where he measures where you are and the strength of the trend. So typically when you get these initial phases, it's called setup. That's the 1 through the 9. Sometimes when you get to the 4, that's when you buy the dip. Not investment advice. Okay. 90-minute chart of ETH. Interesting. 13 top over here. No impact. No impact. Okay. Bitcoin. Very similar, right? 13 top. You get your flush. And then it's back counting the other way. Okay. Daily Bitcoin chart. Guess what? No sign of any kind of top. You had the 9 bottom down here. We were screaming, right? It ripped through both of these support points. Everyone's selling at 25. Okay, I get it. This was a prior high. I get it. There's a level, weekly level there. But there's nothing stopping this from a DeMark point of view, as in nothing. Nothing. Right? ETH has probably got a little bit more resistance at 1742. Then again, I like the ETH weekly charts better. So the longer everybody runs in fear of 17 something, the bigger it is when it finally goes. Now with ETH, you may get 1 up day or 2 up days and then a dip. The next sizable dip, I think you're going to want to grab it, particularly in these altcoins. The only question is, how much does Bitcoin go up first? Okay. Baby Whale says, please, more Wall Street stories. Great content for the show. Okay. So you remember the expanding triangle? So let me take this off, because I know the answer to this, but you may not know the answer to this. And it's a pretty simple story. So when you go to S&P, right, and you see this expanding triangle, now I saw the expanding triangle, but normally these things, if you look in a TA textbook, a lot of times expanding triangles can be bearish, right? They don't always lead to a positive outcome. Frequently they don't. Whichever side you break out from, that's the side that it goes up. Just that in the QE era on daily and particularly intraday charts, you got a lot of expanding triangles. Now, how did I do this? So here I am. This is 10 years ago or more, right? I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm doing my chart work, and I don't understand QE. I don't understand that there's somebody underneath the market like gobbling it up. So I'm just trying to look at charts, and I didn't read this right. And every time this thing turned over, I was like, oh my God, that's it. This whole like fake thing is coming down. And it would go down. It would kind of make the chart look kind of crappy, but then it would come back again. I did not read this as the midpoint of a much larger rally. In other words, I learned the hard way. Everyone's like, Bill, you know, can you show me XYZ? Bro, you know what? There's nothing painful than being like an analyst and publicly bearish in equities when the thing is going up. You know, I paid the stupid fee to learn about this. That's why when I'm seeing it again, I'm like, oh my God. You know, Silicon Valley in forced buying, stable coins basically illegal. I mean, I had some tweet on some Twitter space telling me that, oh, Ethereum is not decentralized, therefore I don't want to touch it. Well, what do you want to touch? Equities are doing nothing. Bonds are doing nothing. Commodities aren't moving yet, but that's coming. It's the only game in town. So flood of liquidity and forced buying from Silicon Valley, that alone moves Bitcoin to 40K and ETH to 2,800. So how did I learn this? The hard way, which is why I don't want you to learn it the hard way, which is why you should subscribe to the channel, support the channel, hit the like button so that I can pass what I learned to you so you can make money. Even though I'm not offering investment advice. Okay, now we're going to go to take some requests here. Divu is here. Welcome from India. Okay, so we have Theta. One of the things I like about this market is the stealth breakouts, right? 13 top, resistance, 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 resistance. And then you know what? Someone says, hey, let's take it through. Probably got 2 more up days, right? Note, when resistance is not resistance anymore and you're bullish and you don't have it, you have a problem. Like I guarantee you, when and if ETH takes out that 1,700, 1,750 level, people are going to look at themselves and go, you know what? I didn't have enough ETH. It's almost the same thing as Bitcoin below 17K. Right? Everyone's like, oh, yeah, I can buy it at 14. I'll buy it later. I'll buy it when it dips. No. Okay. You got to find support as best you can to locate trades, which I get. You have to do that for risk management purposes. But sitting here waiting, thinking you're going to get some kind of gigantic dip, yeah, you'll get a gigantic dip after everybody has FOMO'd in. And we are nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. Bubba says he's super late. Bubba, you're not too late. You're not too early. You're right on time. Oh my God. Zilliqa's back. This shit's all coming back, by the way. Okay. So substantial resistance at 0.034 in Zilliqa. Okay. That's one way to look at it. Or Zilliqa has been so depressed since May of last year that it's just coming back into one of these GAN DeMark hybrid bands I drew, and it can go back to where it was in May. Matter of fact, I kind of like the way that sounds, right? It's like back to the future. Back to May. That's it. Everything's going back to where it was in May. Okay, I'm going to do KPR3. I've had a friend here asking KP. I don't know why that's not coming up. If somebody knows how to bring it up. Somebody wants more Wall Street stories. Okay. Lord Junta says, China may take back crypto. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Would be pretty funny if they rugged us and took it away from us. Crazy. And since when has the United States of America not been a leader of innovation? Since when? Okay. CFX, is that what someone was asking for? Okay. So obviously a massive moonshot. Okay. This serves a very important point. Last year, I was like, will your altcoin survive? It was a polite way of telling you it wouldn't. It wouldn't be immune from sell in May and go away. Okay. This, and I'm seeing this everywhere. There's ACH. There are all of these coins that they make this basing formation and then boom. Right? The bigger the base, the higher in the space. Okay. Shockingly, I have now found the symbol for KP3R. Thank you for your patience. Okay. I'll try to bring that on DeMark. Okay. Back to this regular chart. Very simple. All of these altcoins that made all these massive new lows, there was never a lower low in momentum indicators. So this whole round of the whole second half of 2022 was unconfirmed new lows. Now you're like, well, Bill, it's the end of the day. It's the end of the workday on the East Coast, man. I need you to boil that down. All of these new lows were bullshit. And the market's just going to unwind them coin by coin by coin. Now, do you get more than just the giant pop? Maybe. But if I was holding these altcoins, if I was holding altcoins in general, like Polkadot is the poster boy for this in my mind. Whereas sell in May and go away, I was like, get to the chopper and get out. Now I'm inclined, unless, obviously if something goes from, 70 to 120 and you have an opportunity to get out, take a tax loss, come back in, whatever, that's fine. But if you're holding some altcoin, maybe you give it a chance. Maybe you give it a chance. Now, has this run its course? I think what you want to do with this to just really pull the alpha out on these retracements is, do these coins hold the 62% retracement? When you get these deep moves like this, people are like, well, why is this interesting to me? Because I don't hold this coin. Well, it's interesting because in the event the market or these coins do pull back, you're going to want to see 62% retracements hold. You want to see either 38, if it's a mega bull market, it's 23%, but normally you want to see 38 or 62% hold in crypto. Okay. Cosmos. All right. Also, I haven't seen a comment from Donna, but if Donna's out there sending you love, it's doing a little recovering. So sending some good vibes out there. Carpe diem. I appreciate the love there. Thank you. Illuvium ILV. Let's go check over here. Okay, here's Illuvium on Coinbase. Let's go to a 4-hour chart. 13 top. Down and down. Running stops. People buying the dip. I mean, there's dip buying going on everywhere. And I don't know why anybody would fade that. I have support at 79. Let's pull it up over here. Believe it or not, even though it's at the top of the range, the search is for support that everyone can't see. Like, that's what I've been doing all day today. Okay. And I know this may not be your coin, but it's worth it to do the work to find support points that you can lean on to do trades. Wrong indicator. So I've seen this a couple different ways from this like vertical portion of the rally. It's interesting with ILV. I'm interested in $83.40. Just a point of information. I was like, all right, it's down a little today, but what if it's coiling on 83.40 and winds up rocketing back up and winds up at 127 by the time it's said and done? So if I'm holding this, I'm like, all right, well, maybe I've held it. And if 83.40 holds or it hangs out in this little range that it's making, maybe I'll just leave it. Right? Like Jesse Livermore said that, it's a rare man who can be right and sit tight. Sit tight. I'm not saying don't manage risk and don't use stops. I'm not saying that. Look at this GLMR. Oh my God. Right? We drew this. We were talking about the basing formation. God, even if this is a bear market, this thing could go to 71 cents. Just straight up and down parallel channel here. Just straight up and down parallel channel. I mean, you spent some time out at the bottom of the range. You may wind up, taking out the top end of the range at 70 cents. It's up 10% today and no one thinks they can buy it. Crazy. Crazy. Right? In other words, this market, if you sleep on it, okay. I was looking at such and such a coin and then boom, it's up 20%. And everyone's like, well, I want 100x. Okay. Well, try finding 20 to 30% while the getting's good. In December, it was the end of crypto. 2 months ago. So today is December 20th. Christmas, right? 2 months ago, it was the end of crypto. It was over. They were going to take down Binance and he was gone. And crypto was gone. Now, no one wants to buy. 554 in ApeCoin. If that acts as support, you could be looking at 787. If Bitcoin runs out of steam and altcoins have another day of jump, like maybe it's not today, but maybe there's another day of jump in altcoins. Find support. Find support. Okay. I forgot Cosmos. Thank you for reminding me. Okay, this is a coin that could wake up, right? 13 top over here on the daily chart. Didn't stop it. It goes into a range, but this is wave 1 up, wave 2 down. There's going to be a big wave 3 up in Cosmos. A lot of times wave 3, at a minimum, wave 3 is above wave 1. And wave 3s, when they get going, they can be big. So yeah, I know it's green and I know it's easy to be bullish on an up day, but everyone's gone to sleep on this because it hasn't done anything for really, if you count January 20th, the high in Cosmos was 1360 and it's now at 1430. So this has done nothing. And again, everybody is running scared of the resistance from the FTX highs. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I know that there were 2 peaks up here. There was, a Celsius and FTX. There's all this calamity-related resistance up there. That's all bullshit, right? I'm not saying that situation, that it happened. But the selling off that situation has nothing to do with the value proposition of crypto, right? All the negative news about crypto is over. Like Gensler had his fun. FTX went off. FTX blew up. Everybody blew up. And everybody is trying to tell me that, oh my God, I need to run scared of these 2 points when look at Cosmos. Look at this. This thing was at 42. It's now at 14, and it's been in this sideways band again since May. Everything is going to take out its highs from May. Period. That's just, Luis took profits in Matic to get more ETH. Interesting. Steve J, like the DeFi perp update. You know, I'm getting more into this as we go along. Just funny. I saw a tweet where somebody was saying coins, cryptos, or crypto networks where people pay to use them. Things that are actually being monetized. Well, I guess that's some of the big DeFi coins, right? Like your Uniswaps, Aave. I don't know, man. It's a big bullish downward sloping wedge. I mean, even if this is a modest formation, you know, sometimes you got to learn from the people you're talking to. I mean, that's the minimum target. It's at 726. It could go to 834. Again, the May high, the May high is way up here, man. You know, so, you know, there are a lot of coins in here that maybe need to get their act together on their tokenomics if they even can. But hey, this might not be dead. You're not doing CeFi. So you may do DeFi, right? You may. Okay. We have Rudy reminding you to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Okay. Working on the holiday. Can I do Enjin Coin? Yes. And my producer is also working on the holiday. So shout out to the Eagle King for being here, and not just being here, but being here late. So love to the Eagle King. I don't know. When you look at this, you could have 2 more up weeks, like this week, next week, and the week after that. So I guess that's 3 up weeks in Enjin Coin before it stops. Now, it's trying to break through resistance at 251. No, I'm sorry, at 51 cents. So a lot of times what I've told people is when the market rallies up in one day and then comes back down in the same day, yeah, okay, that's sellers putting pressure on it. But if the market holds at the resistance point it just broke, that is the dip. That is the dip. Okay. All right, folks, I'm wrapping it up today. Don't sleep on this market. The bigger the base, the higher into space. Don't get fooled into thinking that because the market is up, that the market is necessarily at resistance. Yeah, it may be at visual resistance, but the things that everyone can see are never the things that work. Look for hidden support where you can and manage risk. Bull Runner, thanks a lot, folks. I'm good for today. We'll see you next time.